it hurts me psychologically and emotionally to know I didn't live up to people's
Will Smith just smacked the shit out of me.
Image and impression of me.
Puff more like my twin. And that's why I asked Puff back in the days. It's like, man, how you just made it through all this Suge Knight shit? He's like, I'm the craziest one.
Good day and good night. Welcome to the High and Low Retrospective, where we revisit the art, the artists, and the moments that made us, and sometimes unmade us. Today we're not focusing on a single show or a movie or a classic song. We're talking about something messier, more personal. The tension that sneaks in when your favorite memory suddenly feels stained. This is a conversation about complicated nostalgia. We've had this one before. It's about what happens when the people who shaped your playlists, filled your screens, or made you dream become too problematic to cheer for. From sitcom dads to pop kings, magical storytellers to fallen icons, how do you hold on to the good when the truth gets ugly? Let's talk about memory, morality, and the moment you start asking, can I still love this now that I know?
Keep my wife's name out your mouth.
At the end of the day, I lost it.
This isn't about cancel culture. It's not about mob outrage or hot takes. It's deeper. It's that feeling when your favorite song from childhood hits the playlist and your stomach tightens because now the artist's name is attached to a court case or a manifesto or a slap. See, complicated nostalgia is that quiet grief you feel when you're told to outgrow your heroes. It's what happens when the consequences collide with memory, and suddenly the soundtrack of your life has a disclaimer.
You do like this. Hot dog.
Can I ask you, if with the persona that people know about Bill Cosby, should they believe anything differently about what?
There is no...
Let's start here, because we already have. If you've watched our retrospective on The Cosby Show, you know what it meant. It wasn't just TV, it was a revolution. A vision of black excellence, a sitcom that redefined the American family. But Cosby wasn't just the star, he was the brand. And when over 60 women came forward with allegations, when he was convicted and later released, the damage wasn't just to him. It was to every memory tied to Cliff Huxtable, every father-son moment, every jazz riff, every sweater. Can you still laugh at Cliff Huxtable without seeing Bill Cosby's shadow? And if not, what happens to the joy the show once gave? Some artists don't just soundtrack your youth, they define it. Michael Jackson wasn't just a pop star, he was pop. The moonwalk, the single glove, he gave us Thriller and Halloween, Man in the Mirror when we needed introspection, and Heal the World when hope felt scarce. For many, it wasn't just music, he was memory. And then Leaving Neverland aired. The documentary didn't present legal verdicts, it presented testimonies, intimate, graphic, heartbreaking. It didn't erase Michael, but it cracked the foundation. For some, that was enough. For others, it wasn't enough to forget. Because how do you silence the soundtrack of your childhood? How do you turn down the volume on the person whose songs held your hand through growing up? MJ remains a paradox, both adored and accused. A global icon draped in genius and shadows. When nostalgia is that personal, is silence even possible? Sean Combs shaped an era. Whether he was Puff Daddy, P. Diddy, or just Diddy, he was the architect of the late 90s hip-hop dream. He brought us Biggie, he brought us Bad Boy, he made making the band appointment television and turned champagne, white suits, and shiny suits into culture. He wasn't just in the videos, he was the video. But now, the story behind the scenes is darker.
Final question, is there anything that you may want to confess tonight before you go in?
I keep everything right here. There you go. Or right here.
There you go. That's how you do it, right?
Multiple lawsuits, allegations of abuse, assault, trafficking, surveillance footage, settled claims, and a verdict. The once smiling mogul now stands a paragon guilty of constructing not just a media empire, but a culture of fear. So what do you do when the man who planned and hosted the party becomes the villain? When the life of the party might have been a performance masking the predator? Unlike some artists, Diddy never offered innocence, he offered power. And now the power is being questioned. You can still nod your head to a beat if you know the hand behind it wasn't an open one, but a closed fist. Some artists don't collapse. They drift. Not into scandal, but into ideology. J.K. Rowling built Hogwarts for the misfits, a magical refuge for anyone who felt othered. But in recent years, her comments about gender identity have alienated many of the very fans she empowered. Kanye West, well, he walked a similar cliffside path, from soul-sampling genius to Yeezy empire to public anti-Semitism. Brilliant, yes, but volatile and confusing, and to many, cruel. When the storyteller becomes the story's villain, do the pages still hold meaning, or does the spell break? Not every fracture is criminal. Some are sudden, personal, public, like a slap heard around the world. Will Smith, our Fresh Prince, our safe space, walked on stage at the Oscars and did the unthinkable. He hit a man on live television. He hit Chris Rock. And for many, it hit harder than expected because it broke the illusion, the image of grace, poise, and effortless cool that we'd held on to for decades. It wasn't abuse, it wasn't ideology, and it was human, but it was public. And it forced fans to ask, can one moment undo decades of goodwill? Let's be clear, not all betrayals are the same. There are crimes, the kind that demand legal consequences and leave no room for ambiguity. Bill Cosby, Diddy, these aren't just fallen idols, these are cautionary tales etched in court transcripts and settlement papers. Then there's moral decay, a slow erosion of trust. Kanye West, J.K. Rowling, Michael Jackson, artists whose brilliance once felt untouchable until their words, actions, or silence forced us to question the foundation beneath their genius. And then there are the public implosions. Will Smith. No crime, no manifesto, just one moment. A human moment, but one so big, so loud, it cracked the armor of perfection we built around him. Each is different, but the emotional toll, the ache of reevaluating someone you once held close, that part feels the same. So we're left asking, who gets forgiven? What gets erased? And who decides what stays in the vault and what gets left behind? Because in the court of public memory, there are no easy verdicts, just echoes. Now, I'll ask you, what's still in your Spotify library? What DVD box set is still tucked in your closet? What do you skip now? What do you still defend quietly when no one's around? Do you still hum the chorus? Do you still laugh at the reruns? Or does it all hit differently? Because complicated nostalgia doesn't always shout. Sometimes it just whispers, you still believe in it. This legacy paradox, this complicated nostalgia, it isn't a verdict, it's a reckoning. It asks, what do we hold on to? What do we let go? And who do we become when we finally admit the memories were never as simple as we thought? Because nostalgia doesn't just reflect the past, it reveals a version of you who lived there and whether that version still fits. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, and share this one. And subscribe for more deep dives into the art, artists, and moments that made us and sometimes broke our hearts. Until next time, stay critical, stay nostalgic, and remember,
I think everybody can make a mistake.